Going live, going live, going live. I guess we're live. I think we're live. What's going on, guys? How is everybody doing tonight? It is Thursday. It's 7 p.m. here on the East Coast. And I figured I haven't done one of these in quite a while. So let me just kill this echo here. Hold on. Okay. Haven't done one of these in a while. Got probably quite a bit to discuss with you guys since the last time that I did a live stream. So, and also there was a kind of a weird circumstance with my video that I had filmed and planned for release tonight. I can't release it. I don't know how many of you guys saw on Twitter, but there's a part that I used in that video that is still under embargo, and I just had a brain fart, didn't realize that, but the embargo lifts next week, so next Tuesday actually, so that video that was going to be tonight isn't going to be released until Tuesday, and I didn't have anything else planned, to be honest. I didn't have anything else filmed and ready to go, so I was kind of at a loss. So I'm trying to figure out what I can do to get another video out for you guys this week, because as you guys probably know, I always do at least 2 a week. So I figured I'd just come on here and talk to you guys and chat a little bit about whatever it is that you guys want to talk about. There are a few topics that I definitely want to touch on, but it's this, as always, this is more of a free-form discussion. I'm going to try to, answer as many questions as I can from you guys, kind of let you guys steer the ship as far as where you want the conversation to go. But yeah, you guys know the drill. We've done this before. Nobody's new here. But I am not drinking wine tonight, as I think many of you probably thought that I would be. I'm drinking some Angry Orchard pear cider this time. The pear is okay. It's not great. It's all right. But it's better than like gluten-free beer, which is just awful. And I had a bunch of Angry Orchard back from my Super Bowl party. So still drinking that a little bit at a time. So Angry Orchard pear cider is okay. That's my endorsement. The regular apple is better. But if any of you guys are having a beverage tonight, cheers to you guys. Thanks for coming and hanging out with me on a Thursday or a Friday or whatever day of the week it happens to be for you guys. Let me know what you're drinking if you're having a beverage. And hopefully you are 21 or the age of majority, wherever you live, because I realize that that's a silly statement. Anyway, hold on. Let me take a sip. Before we continue, just a couple of really quick things. One, I had to break down and reset up my streaming setup. So if anything here is off, if the audio is too low or something, please let me know. I'm pretty sure the video quality is good. I'm actually using a lens that I usually use for like my B-roll shots and whatnot. So I'm pretty sure that I'm nice and crispy, but I don't know about the audio. So just let me know about that. Second thing is my two regular moderators for the stream, which is Rodimus and Ready Player One, cannot be here tonight. So we're parent free here. There are no moderators in chat, and I let you guys know this because I trust that we can all be adults here and not say anything too silly. Because at this point, because there's no moderators, I don't have the opportunity to moderate the chat and time people out and stuff. If you say stupid shit, I'm just gonna ban you. So please don't do that. I don't want to have to ban anybody. I love you guys. I wouldn't be doing this if it wasn't for you guys. So don't say anything dumb. And we'll all have a very nice discussion. All right. With that being said, there are a couple of things that I did want to talk about here. And I did want to start off talking about the China trip that Steve from Gamers Nexus and I took with Cooler Master 2 weeks ago now, week and a half ago now. And I know that you guys probably have seen not only my videos, but probably his videos as well. I'm sure there's an enormous amount of subscriber overlap there. So I want you guys to sound off in the comments what you guys thought about that stuff. I still have one more video to go from that trip. It's just that I don't want to release them all at once. I don't want you guys to get fatigued with all the factory tour type of content, because I know that kind of stuff happens. Like, it happened during CES. People just kind of got really sick of CES coverage because every channel is just pumping out those videos left and right. I had a lot of them, and I know towards the end of the coverage, viewership really tailed off. I don't want that to be the case here. I think that this kind of information is really important for you guys as educated consumers to have, and I want to make sure that the level of engagement stays really high. So in order to do that, I'm spacing out the content. Steve is going to do the same thing. He has been doing the same thing. It's not just all coming out at once. Usually we try to space it out with a video or two in between. So, super chat. Super chat from Isaiah Tavares. No comment, $4.99. Thank you very much, Isaiah. Appreciate your support. Where was I? Oh, so the next factory tour that I have coming out is the Peripherals factory. So what Steve and I did when we were over there is we very specifically tried to coordinate our coverage so that it complemented each other's videos rather than conflicted. Originally, the plan... Ooh, another super chat. I don't think there's a message associated with this one either. DKK. What kind of currency is DKK? I'm not going to guess because I'll definitely get it wrong. But 17 DKK. Thank you very much, EIK44. So originally the plan was actually to go over to China with a bigger crew. It was not just going to be me and Steve. I'm not going to get into who was maybe going to come, or who at the last minute couldn't come, but there was supposed to be a larger crew of us there. And the plans then would not have been as easy to formulate, because Steve and I sat down at the beginning of the trip and said, look, there's only two of us here. It doesn't make any sense to have the same content across both channels, because it's easy enough for the two of us to say, you take this, I'll take this, etc. And because Steve is who he is, and his channel is what it is, his whole thing is highly technical, deep dive approach to every video topic. So we agreed that it would be best if that's the way he did his coverage, and that what I did with mine is more of an overview. And then people could come to my channel, watch the overview, and if they had an interest in getting to know the minutia about what goes on in between those steps, Steve has all that information. So, he and I sat down for that 25-minute discussion about the thermals factory that we went to, which was really, really interesting. And there was so much content from that factory. We didn't even touch on it all during our talk, but during that chat, we just kind of talked about it. We talked about what we saw, what was interesting, what we didn't expect to see, but did, what we thought might be there, but wasn't, things of that nature. And then Steve kind of took it as, what he did from there was he went into heat pipes, and he went into fan testing, and he went into how an AMD stock cooler is made. His video came out today, actually, on that, so go check that out. But because that is more along the lines of what his channel is about, it really fit into the whole coverage plan, because it allowed our footage to complement each other. And I think for that reason, the videos have turned out really well. And for those of you who are interested in how things are made, fans of the show How It's Made, if you guys remember that show, we really kind of try to take that approach. So if you guys want to know how a PC case is made, go watch my video. If you want to know how fans are made, go watch Steve's video, etc. So the last one I'm going to have is the video that I made about peripherals. So we were able to watch a couple of Cooling Master items get assembled, but not just assembled, like all the way from like injection molding the keycaps all the way through final packaging and delivery. So we got to see the new what is it called? SK621, the 10 keyless Bluetooth low profile keyboard, which I got the first one off the production line, which was pretty cool. And then got to see that assembled, got to see their new MK850 keyboard and their new MM830 mouse. That's their aimpad keyboard and the mouse with the little D-pad thing on the side. Got to see all those assembled. And so that's going to be the last factory tour video that you guys see. So, hope you guys took something away from that. Sorry, super chat from Puffalopagus. You got secret film of the MA610M. Just wink twice. Well, so I'll tell you guys this. Any products that are under embargo that we were able to see, that's all they let us do is see them. So we were not allowed to film anything that may or may not be released anytime soon. So unfortunately, even if I wanted to wink twice, I wouldn't be able to. So I'm sure you guys understand. Oh, I'm a little blurry. Hold on. Let me do this. I think the camera... Hold on a second. I think the camera... Yeah, the camera, I think, focused on my microphone there for a second. So... okay, so the camera, the microphone's a little bit off to the side here, so hopefully we're still good on the audio. So I'm going to scroll back up and we're going to see what you guys have been asking about and talking about. But factory tours was definitely something that I wanted to get into a little more detail, maybe answer some of your questions, because there was so much information there and it was such an interesting trip. I've never been to Asia before, that I'm sure that I could answer some questions for you guys. So, all right, give me a second and I will see if I could get some questions in. All right, Panzer Shrek, love the collabs with Tech Jesus. Thought the vlogs in general were a strength for you as well. Oh, well, thank you very much. The vlogs actually were not well received viewership wise. They did not perform strongly at all. A lot of people actually said that I needed a gimbal for this camera. This is the RX 100 Mark 6, and this is what I use for whenever you guys see any kind of like handheld vlog footage. That's this camera, because it's just so tiny and easy to use, and the footage that comes out of it is phenomenal. And what I usually use for that is this. It's actually a Sony accessory that's made for vlogging. You hold the camera out and point it at your face, and it's got little buttons for control and all that. But there's no stabilization here, obviously, and the stabilization in here is minimal. So I didn't want to carry around like a big bulky device. I do have a gimbal. Like I don't. It's right here. I don't know why it's right here, but I have a gimbal. But look how big this is compared to this. Carrying this around is a pain. And this is just the small gimbal. This is just for this camera. So a lot of people were complaining that the footage was unstable and shaky and it was hard for them to watch. And I understand that. At the same time, carrying around a gimbal when you're trying to like sightsee in China with 1 million people around, or a billion people around, literally, it's difficult. So I'm sorry if the footage was a little bouncy, but you know, I did my best. Okay, a rock 72. After eating proper Chinese food, do you now look at the local Chinese restaurant with different eyes? Well, I don't really eat Chinese food. Not that I don't like it. Americanized Chinese food. It's not that I don't like it. It's just I can't eat it. So I haven't actually had Chinese food in a while. And to be honest, Americanized Chinese food, much better than Chinese food. if you live in China, I'm sure that's your diet. You're used to it. It's, you know, what you eat. And you probably think that Americanized food is terrible. But being used to Americanized food, Americanized Chinese food, the stuff that they were serving us in China, while tasty, was not really my speed, to be honest. There were some odd dishes. But the people in China were awesome. Never met a more hospitable country ever. Like, all they wanted to do was take care of you, make you happy, make you eat as much food as you could, drink as much wine or sake or whatever else they were serving you as they could, and make sure that you went home, you know, satisfied, basically, from every meal, every restaurant, every hotel, whatever else. So people there were awesome. The food, Alexander Tenike says, is the Ryzen 3000 just clickbait, or do we actually get some new info on it? So it's certainly not clickbait, and the reason I put that in the title is because I did want to talk about it at some point, because I have a lot of people asking me about it. And let me just address that right now. I don't have any information on Ryzen 3000 series. AMD has not reached out to any reviewers, to my knowledge, about Ryzen 3000. And we all know it's coming. We all know that AMD is taking the chiplet approach this time, and that we could potentially see up to 16 cores. Number one, that is not confirmed. It looks like it's a possibility just based on physical spacing on the package. It's not confirmed. Number two, I've gotten a lot of people who are asking me if we're going to see 5 gigahertz 16-core chips. Just put that out of your mind. That's not happening. Okay? Just think about it like this. Intel is just now pushing to 5 gigahertz. And they've been in this game a lot longer and a lot more consistently than AMD has. AMD is their Ryzen platform is new. Getting to 4 gigahertz on Ryzen is still an achievement. 5 gigahertz with double the cores, not going to happen. You will likely see a clock speed increase, and with the node shrink, I would imagine that we will. Nothing is confirmed yet. So for everybody who thinks that I have a lot of information and that a lot of other reviewers have information, I know Paul and Kyle get similar inquiries. Unfortunately, we don't have that information yet. As soon as we have it and are allowed to disseminate it, you guys will know. But a lot of the rumors that are flying around are just conjecture at this point. And I wish that people... I don't want people to overestimate what is going to come. Given AMD's track record the last couple of years with Ryzen, I guarantee you that these will be quality products with good value attached to them. And to be honest, we'll probably pressure Intel in some way or another. But to shoot for the moon with these expectations is only going to lead to disappointment when those expectations are not fulfilled. If you look at it a little more rationally and a little more reasonably, you know, people saying 5 gigahertz is going to happen. Well, what if they come in at 4.4 gigahertz, which is higher than they have done before? Would that be a disappointment? Because I'm pretty sure that actually would be kind of a victory. So I just ask people to be reasonable about what they think is going to happen with Ryzen 3000. It's coming. My best guess is Computex time. I have not gotten any emails or correspondence from AMD yet, so just know that I will share information with you guys when I can. But that's what I wanted to say about Ryzen 3000, just because I get a lot of people asking me about it. All right. Isaiah Tavares says, meant to say, keep up the content, man. Oh, that's from your super chat. Well, thank you very much, Isaiah. Love to see the factory tours, especially from a logistics standpoint. Enjoyed the way you and Steve overlapped your videos, create content from you. That's good. I'm super glad to hear that. I really wanted that approach to work out. because you never know, right? Steve and I have never worked together like that before, you know, in that kind of capacity. So, awesome. What Up Days says, hey man, just wanted to say I really enjoy your channel. Well, I really enjoy you, sir. Or madam. Caesar Antilla says, hey man, thanks for the factory tour videos. They were interesting to watch. More coming. Panzer Shrek said, I thought Coolmaster came out really well from the series so far. So I'll be honest, that is not the goal, but both Steve and I were very impressed with them and their operation over there. So we were just kind of telling the truth, and then you guys figure out, you know, what kind of angle you want to see it from. There were some people in comments of those videos who were saying that they were skeptical of the factory conditions and whatnot in China. We can only go by what we saw and what we were told, because both Steve and I did ask about that kind of thing. And from all appearances, the workers are well treated. They told us that their pay is, they have to be competitive, because otherwise their workers get poached. Other factories will take them just by offering them, you know, an extra $1 an hour or something like that. So they try to keep their pay at the top of the market, basically. Hold on. Did we, what's going on here? Did we freeze? What happened? Says the stream status is good, but it looks like on my preview window, it looks like we froze. So, but the public view looks like I am not frozen. All right, so I'm going to keep going, even though my preview looks like, all right, I don't know what's happening here. Hold on. Let me check. Give me a second. Sorry, guys. If you could hear me, I'm just checking the stream. All right, I don't know what's happening here. Hold on. Let me check. Give me a second. Okay, it looks like it's working. And you guys are just watching me fumble around with my phone right now. So, sorry, guys. Okay. You can hear me. I'm just checking. Okay, I think it's working now. I don't know what happened there. Sorry about that. For those of you who don't know, my cable line to my house got severed today. So yeah, so that was, I had to splice that back together. Actually, let me show you guys a photo. So I had to like do some work here. And let's see if you guys can see that. But had to like put it back together again, and my landscaper just chopped right through it with a shovel. So I was skeptical that I was even going to be able to do this stream today. So that's what my cable line looks like until at least tomorrow, when Comcast is coming to do whatever they do. So if there are some interruptions, that might be why. So I apologize. Anyway, I'm watching on. All right, you actually can see that. Okay, good. Anyway, let's move on. We're rolling here now. Okay, where was I? Okay. So sorry, I got to scroll back up and find where I was at. Okay. Galloping Nuns. Hey there, really enjoyed your case production video. Any word while there about when Cooler Master will release a black version of the SL600M? Unfortunately, no, they did not tell us that. Brian, what are your thoughts on Article 13 coming out of the EU and how it may affect the rest of the world? So, excuse me. Jay actually put out a good video on this today, just kind of going over in broad strokes what Article 13 means. I'll be honest, the United States right now has quite its own political situation, in especially revolving around the internet, net neutrality, things of that nature. And it seems that a lot of that same type of political activity is kind of bleeding over into other regions of the world. I know UFD Tech also has now an issue with some local law being passed. I did not watch their full video, but I know that they're going to have some issues with some of the content they're putting out. And I can only imagine what might happen in the United States as a result of that, because it kind of sets a precedent for legislation regarding the internet and how the internet is viewed. Damn it, are we slideshowing again? Internet, you're killing me. The stream. All right. Okay. So I don't know. If the stream keeps getting choppy, I might end it early, but I hope not. So okay. So Article 13, it does worry me because the political climate seems to be like toxic for free and open internet at this point around the world, which is not. And I unfortunately I don't know what influence we may have over that at this point. So yeah, that I don't want to speak out of turn here. Article 13 doesn't affect the United States directly. So I wish you guys luck over there. This damn internet connection is killing me. This thing is skipping all over the place. Let me reduce my, so I'm not dropping any frames in OBS, but let me reduce my bit rate and see if maybe that helps. Okay. All right. Maybe that'll help. All right. I meant to ask how many episodes left in this season Show Me Your Rig. Each season of Show Me Your Rig is 10 episodes, and then the finale. I think we are up to, I think we just did episode 8. So there'll be 8 or 9. I forget. So there's either 1 or 2 more episodes left, and then the finale where we will pick a winner. And then we'll probably skip like a month, and then we'll start over with season 3, which is going to be small form factor builds. So I'm actually kind of pumped up about that. Okay. Yeah, a lot of questions about Article 13. Go watch Jay's video, and I think he goes over it pretty well. Harry Horton says hi from the UK. Hello, Harry. Arak72 says, personally, I'm more interested in seeing if Navi will weaken NVIDIA's stranglehold over GPUs, although I'm not holding my breath. The information that I have about Navi is purely speculative. And it is likely that Navi will not be the high-end savior that you want it to be. It's going to likely be a Polaris successor, probably mid-range, is what I have been told and or what I know so far. I suppose that could change. That, like I said, it is fairly speculative information, but that's kind of what I'm expecting. Okay. Do you think Ryzen now prices will go down? Well, so the 2000 series Ryzen chips are all experiencing pretty significant price cuts. And if you want to go even lower, just look at the original Ryzen chips. They are close in performance to the 2000 series. So the 1700 versus the 2700 doesn't lose by very much. And you can pick up a 1700 for like $170, $160 or something like that. That's an 8-core part, which is ridiculous. So AMD, one of the things that AMD has consistently done right since Ryzen was introduced is cut down their prices as the life cycle of the chip progresses, whereas Intel just does not ever do that. So they end up selling, they will continue to sell even after they are no longer new products, just because now they are at a reduced price. They're more accessible for a lot of people. I think that we'll continue to see that trend. Kyle Toon says, I have a B450 motherboard, so if they do come out with a consumer 16 core, should I go ahead and get a new board? I believe they will work on my board. So AMD has committed that the same socket, that AM4 socket, is going to work until 2020. So that doesn't necessarily mean that every motherboard will receive BIOS updates to support the higher core count chips. We don't know that yet. From what we saw when the Ryzen 2000 series came out, it is likely that the boards will all be able to support the new chips. Whether you won't get the same functionality as the new boards might have, like PCIe Gen 4. But beyond that, it should be okay. I just wouldn't really, if you plop a 16-core chip in a B450 board, probably best to leave it at stock and not push any overclocks. You might be asking for trouble there. Sniper Pro Nerf Mod says, you said memory testing. What do you mean by that? So that was the last thing that I put in the title of the video, and that was because I'm working on a fairly comprehensive memory testing video, and I wanted to get your guys' thoughts on it. So basically, obviously memory is going to come in a variety of speeds, and I can't test all of them. But in order to get a good representative sample, I actually did put a poll on Twitter as far as what you guys wanted to see, and I wanted to test 5 different speeds. And what I ended up with for now was 2133, 2400, 3000, 3200, and 3600. And the reason I went with those 5 is because the kit of memory that I'm testing with is a 3600 speed kit. So rather than bounce around between different kits to achieve different speeds, in order to remain consistent and to try to make my testing as valid as possible, I want to stay with the same kit of memory and just adjust the speed up and down. So I could easily adjust from 2133 to 3600 with no issues. Anything above that would be an overclock, and I don't know, I haven't tried to overclock this kit of memory, so I don't know how high I'd be able to get. I don't want to commit to doing tests at 4000 if I can't get the memory to run at 4000. So my plan with this is to test those 5 different speeds in 3 different configurations. So that's 1 stick, 2 stick, and 4 sticks. So that's 3 different configurations, 5 different speeds. That's 15 tests times 3 runs each is 45 tests. I want to know how many programs, how many benchmarks you would like to see, because I started, and the problem with doing memory testing is every time you want to change something, it's a reboot. It's not like you can just change it on the fly. It's very, very time consuming. So do you want to see, I'm committed to doing at least like Time Spy, because Time Spy is a fairly good representative of performance with a memory impact, because it does both CPU and GPU. Do you want to see things other than that? Do you want to see something like Unigine Heaven, something easy like that? Do you want to see like Shadow of the Tomb Raider? What is a good test that would allow you to kind of develop a feeling about what kind of memory speed and configuration is best? Do you need games to be tested in order to make this a valid video for you guys? Because I want to make sure that the information I'm putting out there is useful for you, not just kind of, giving me something to do. So let me know like what you want me to test as far as that memory testing video in order to try to make it as comprehensive as possible. The problem is I can't test a lot of things. Like my normal benchmarking suite for games is like 15, 16 games, something like that. I can't do that. That because I have to reboot constantly, that's not feasible for me to do. If I had a guy, if I hired somebody to just run those benchmarks, maybe. But me sitting there doing it and doing, you know, whatever other work I need to do is just, it's not going to happen. So just want to get a few games or a few benchmarks or something like that to see, you know, what you guys might consider to be relevant, I guess, to your use case. So that's what I wanted to talk about as far as memory testing goes. All right. I've reached the point in the comments where all of my things were freezing. Okay. Super chat. 2 super chats. One from Inevitable Decline for $2 says, why no love for Corsair Air 540 740 and show me your rig? I have love for those cases. I don't know that I've seen either of those come through anytime recently. So if you got one, send it in. I don't discriminate. I did the one special episode on the Lian Li PCO11 just because I just get flooded with those. But besides, I would not exclude a Corsair case for sure. Got another donation from EIK44. This time for 45 DKK. I really want to know what that is. What is that? What is DKK? Danish krona. All right. Thank you very much, sir. Go get a cup of coffee. Do I look tired? Everybody always tells me I look tired. I gotta get more sleep. The Fighting Squid says, do you have any experience removing micro scratches from acrylic glass? I have some in my side panel. I don't have any in particular. Like, I've never done it, but there's actually in my my How a Case is Made video, there's a really quick clip of a guy doing exactly that. And I made some like snide comments over it, like, and this guy looks like he's having way too much fun. When I was doing the tempered glass section of that video, he was actually, you have to put it on a grinding wheel with like a, not like a regular wheel on it, with like a specialty wheel that buffs out, takes off a very small layer of the glass. So I don't have any experience with it myself. I would imagine if you do a fine enough wet sanding, it would probably work, but I would not be one to take that on. I have actually dropped the side panel of this case right here. There's 1, 2, 3 little dings in it. I hit like the corner. I dropped it like up. I don't know what I was doing, but I dropped it on the corner of the case itself, and it like banged itself up. Got a couple in it. I just kind of left it. Maybe I could do something about it at some point, but yeah, I wish I had the ability to fix that kind of stuff too. So I don't have any experience with it. Sorry. And it looks like we froze again. Yay. Did we freeze? Yeah, sort of. This is terrible. I'm really sorry, guys. I don't know about this. I might have to cut this off if this continues. What is happening here? All right. Looks like we should be up. Okay. Sorry, guys. This is awful. I hate to put you through this. This is frustrating for me too. Hopefully it doesn't keep freezing. All right. Even Evan V says, "What's with the ciders? Are you gluten free?" I am gluten free. I have celiac disease, so I unfortunately have to be gluten free. So, cheers. All right. Drearier Spider 1 says, "No chance you can memory test both Intel and AMD. Understand if it's too much." So I'm going to say no, I'm not going to do that. Although, to be honest, it might be worth a follow-up video because AMD is so highly dependent on memory speed. So it's certainly worth looking into, and if I can make that happen, I will. But for now, this initial video is going to be Intel because my test bench is set up with Intel. It's a 9900K test bench, so it's easier for me to just swap the stuff on there. But yes, you do have a point. AMD would be certainly interesting to do. Login Locos, are you in Maryland? I am in Maryland. Are you in Maryland? Gosh damn it, Ross says, out of everything you did on the trip, what was your favorite part? My favorite part, so to be honest, my favorite part was probably the last day where we didn't do any computer stuff. We went to Hong Kong and did some sightseeing, because the entire trip before that was pretty stressful. It was work. It was there. We had a good time, but we left the hotel at 7 o'clock in the morning. We didn't get back until 6 o'clock at night. Every night there was a dinner, which was hosted by, somebody from Cooler Master or whatever. But it was a business dinner. Like, you went there because you kind of had to go. You're there talking to people, discussing projects, talking about new cases or whatever it was. By the time we got back to the hotel every night, it was 8, 9 o'clock. So we were out from 7 o'clock. We were out, 12, 13, 14 hours. And then I had to try to get some video editing done. It was pretty rough. It was a busy trip. And combine the fact with, the trip itself is some ridiculous number of hours, and you end up jet lagged by 12 or 13 hours, depending on if it's daylight savings time or not. Then it becomes a problem to regulate yourself. It was a great trip overall, but I was kind of relieved at the end of it to be able to go and just relax and do some sightseeing. The best factory tour that we went on was probably the Thermals factory. That building was very impressive. It was a new building. It was Cooler Master's own facility. It was multiple buildings, multiple offices. Factories are built into and around the offices. They had like a 3 or 4 level cafeteria there. There were actually dorms. Like, some of the workers stay there in dorms. So that was interesting. But yeah, that was probably the most interesting facility that we went to. Is Maryland chicken a thing in Maryland? Maryland chicken. I've never heard of Maryland chicken. Robert Shipley, hi, love your channel. Thank you very much. Enigma Tumbo, China is a long-ass flight. Damn. Yeah, I actually talk about this in the first vlog that I put out. My travel from Maryland to get to China, the trip there was a 6-hour flight, East Coast to West Coast, a 7-hour layover in LAX, a 16-hour flight transatlantic, 4 hours in the Hong Kong airport, hour-long ferry ride or something, an hour in customs, hour and a half car ride to the hotel. Like, we were traveling for some absurd amount of time. And because of we crossed the date line, it was like 2 days later by the time we got to where we were going. So that was quite the journey, for sure. It was worth it. I would do it again. But let me tell you, American Airlines, man, they suck. Like, I'm 6 feet tall, and yes, I'm a wide person, I guess, but that has nothing to do with the length of my legs. Damn it. Looks like things are dropping out again. So it has nothing to do with the length of my legs. And my knees were pressed against the seat in front of me. I don't know how you sell seats for a 16-hour flight that where your knees are, where an average height per, I'm 6 feet tall, where somebody who's 6 feet tall can't sit in the seat without their knees being wedged up against the seat in front of them. That's just ridiculous. Okay. Okay. Can you test AlphaCool IceBear Extreme Liquid CPU Cooler? Well, I don't have one. I can reach out to them, perhaps. I don't know if they're sampling it. So we'll see. Maybe. Lance Domhoff, one of my recent favorite channels. Glad I found this one. Well, I am also glad that you found me. Thank you very much. I'm sorry that this stream kind of sucks right now. I don't know what's happening with my stream breaking up and all. But thanks for sticking around anyway. All right, let me scroll up a little bit. Mark Howard, have you watched any of the PAX East streams? If so, what games take your interest? I haven't. Actually, I have not had any time to do that. There was a possibility that I was going to go to PAX, at least just for this weekend, and that just didn't work out. I think the China trip was kind of last minute, and it really kind of bumped a lot of my other travel plans. So that kind of took priority, and just traveling again so soon would not really ideal, especially with family and whatnot. So, but no, I haven't watched any of the PAX streams. A couple super chats come through. One from Panda Commanda. Hey, I'm the guy who sent you the clamshell for the CPU. Oh, thank you so much. Hi from Florida. Well, I should be paying you, sir, the $5. But thanks, man. I really appreciate it. And then Nori Rivera says, hi, Brian. It's me. All right. What was the weirdest thing you saw on your tour? What was your favorite food you tasted? What would you do differently? The weirdest thing I saw on my tour is probably I'd like to just kind of steer away from PC components for a second. The driving in China is like lawless. It's like anarchy. But driving on the highways is fine. It's like a highway. But if you're in the cities, you just go wherever you want to go, in whatever direction you want to go, cross intersections whenever you want. We had drivers driving us between facilities and often thought our lives were in danger because of how the driving was. It was terrifying. And I've never experienced anything like that, to be honest. And I never thought that I would, just because it was so absurdly crazy. It's hard to describe. The favorite food that I tasted, so like I said, I wasn't a huge fan of the food over there. The best food we had was probably sushi. We had a bunch of sushi, and it was great. So I don't really, the food that we had over there that was traditional Chinese, a lot of it I couldn't eat because I have celiac. I can't have soy sauce. So if they cook in soy, I can't have it. If they fry it with breading, I can't have it. So there's a lot of that, unfortunately. So couldn't eat a lot of that. But the stuff that I could eat was like, they served a lot of like boiled chicken, which was not good. Some rice noodles, which were fine. And I don't know. Sushi was the best thing we had. What would you do differently? I would probably spend longer there. Getting acclimated takes a while when you're traveling that long. And planning a trip that also included some additional sightseeing or just some additional time to just get in sync with everything over there probably would have been good. As is, we kind of had a day and then went right to it. So traveling that far, I think if we do it again, my wife and I would probably want to go and then like fly over to Japan or something along those lines and make that trip a little more worthwhile. Okay. Video dropping frames and freeze time to time. Audio is fine. Yep. Yep, I know. Mr. KZ Demos. I bought a Fantex water block that advertises it to be 2080 Ti/2080 water block, but they have different PCBs. Everyone who has tried has high temps. Can you make a video about this? Probably not. I don't have, to be honest, I don't have any contact with Fantex. So, I mean, that's not to say that I couldn't make a video about this, but most water blocks, well, if they advertise it as being compatible with both, that indicates that there's some testing. So I don't know why it would not be compatible with both cards. So, I mean, okay, I'm not making a whole lot of sense here. Let me back up. I probably am not going to be able to make a video about that. Although it would be an interesting test. If it continues to be an issue, and there's a lot of like forum posts and stuff, shoot me like a link on Twitter or something like that, and I'll check it out. And if it's a real issue, then maybe I'll dive in. Because I agree, obviously you don't want your cards running too hot. Kyle Anderson, how do you deal with cross contamination? A celiac disease question. All right. It's difficult. You just kind of have to trust people, to be honest. When we're at home, we basically just eat gluten-free, and we have separate pots and pans and utensils and strainers and whatever. We separate toasters, because my wife does not have celiac. So if she wants a piece of toast, she's got her own toaster. You know, if she wants to cook some regular pasta and not gluten-free pasta, she's got her own pots. That's how we do it. When we're in a restaurant, a lot of restaurants now are actually getting a lot better about it and have separate facilities. Either that or they know that they need to change their gloves and wash their cooking surface and stuff like that. But it just comes down to trust. You got to trust people when they say they're addressing it. And if you order something in a restaurant and you tell them that you have celiac and that it needs to be made a certain way and they say that they could do it, you just got to believe them. I've had issues in the past at some restaurants, but usually it's like lower end restaurants that don't quite deal with it correctly. So, you know, you hope not to get contaminated, but it does happen occasionally. Mark Howard, I got a 980 Ti GPU and want to upgrade it, but want a 1080 Ti secondhand or an RTX 2080 Ti, and all I care about is high FPS and gaming at 1080p. What's your thought? 1080p, do you even need to upgrade at this point? I don't know how high frame rates you're looking for. I guess 1080p you could get up to 240. A 1080 Ti is probably enough. Like you could get a used 1080 Ti on like eBay or Hardware Swap on Reddit for like $550. I mean, you're spending $1,200 for a 2080 Ti. That's more than double. So, and for 1080p gaming, you do not need one of those cards. I would say buy a 1080 Ti, I guess, if you definitely want to upgrade. The Mind Bullets just dropping in to say you do a great job. Thank you very much. Mr. KZ Demos, I can send you my GPU water block. Do you not need it? I wouldn't want you just to do that just for me to do the testing. If it's like sitting on a shelf, then maybe, but find me on Twitter. We'll talk there. Okay. Kyle Anderson, thanks for the answer. I just came down with it myself. Oh man, it's been a struggle. Yeah, the first like 6 months was not fun. Trying to figure out what you can and can't eat and whatnot. It's a struggle. So I wish you good luck, sir. And if anybody out there has any questions about celiac disease, and if you have it yourself and would like to talk to me about it, please find me on Twitter. That is something that I would like to be able to help people with, because I've had it now for some number of years and I feel like I have a good handle on it. So I'm here to help. All right, let me scroll up and see. We're coming up on an hour here, and that's usually where I get things off. All right. Yeah, and this stream. Oh boy. What happened? No data. Damn. Okay, so the stream just went completely dark for a second. So my control panel here just told me it was receiving no data. Now it looks like it's okay again. This is just a nightmare. I really need to get my my line fixed. That's happening tomorrow. How often is Show Me a Rig? I do one show a month, usually in the middle of the month. Hakim says, I bought the EVGA Founder Edition, then later bought the hybrid kit and installed it, replaced the thermal paste, and it is solid. You must be responding to something else because I'm not sure what you mean. Jacob Tran, I guess your handiwork for that wire went well. Well, it sort of went well. I have service, but I think it's skipping around quite a bit in and out, so this isn't great. So Backlog Gamer, I had to change my diet too. I was just diagnosed with Crohn's disease. It's a real struggle to figure out what you can and can't eat and what will react with your body. Yep, Crohn's is a bitch. I don't have Crohn's, but I feel your pain, my man. All right, I'm going to cut this stream off. I know there's a lot of questions I didn't get to answer, but I just can't. Guido Salducci, hey Brian, I was at PAX East today and got recognized wearing the BPS hoodie. Awesome, man. That's great to hear. I guess someone just walking around and saw the hoodie, huh? The Case Factory tour was really cool. I'm always amazed by how people figure out how to do things more productively. It was a fun piece. Yeah, we had fun making it. Me and Steve we worked hard on it, and I'm glad you guys enjoyed it. All right, I guess there's a couple other questions coming through, but I will be ending this very soon. Okay, Sean Madison, what's your opinion on Radeon 7? I did a really exhaustive review of that card. It was honestly one of the videos on my channel that I am most proud of. I would suggest go watching it. I don't think Radeon 7 is a great product. It is okay for workstation applications, but it doesn't even keep up with an RTX 2080. So, and you could buy RTX 2080s, whereas you can't really buy Radeon 7s. And the cooler, and it is loud. Like, it is the loudest graphics card I've ever heard in my life. So, not really worth it. Not a great product. Okay. So, yeah, we're just freezing all over the place here. I'm going to cut this off, guys. I'm super sorry that my internet is crap right now because landscapers chop through that line. So I apologize. Next time we'll go longer. Maybe we'll do like an hour and a half next time. But thank you so much for your donations. Thank you so much for your questions. Thanks so much for hanging out with me. And I'm sorry that there wasn't a formal, proper video this week. A second one, anyway. But we'll be back on schedule starting next Tuesday. And Jacob Tran, there will be a 1660 in the video for Tuesday. I'm doing the same thing for the 1660 that I did for the 1660 Ti. I did not want to get buried in the enormous wave of review videos that came out during an embargo. So I'm going to use it in a build. So we're going to get some real world testing data there, and we're going to show you how it works. So hopefully that is good for you guys. One more donation from Backlog Gamer. Love the channel and your content. Just wanted to show some support before you sign off. Thank you very much, Backlogged Gamer. Okay, so that's it, guys. Thanks so much. And next new video will be Tuesday. So if anybody wants to continue any of these conversations that we talked about, find me on Twitter. I'll do my best to answer you guys. I can't always answer everything that comes through on Twitter. I get a lot of messages. So that's it, guys. Take care. Have a good night. And see you next time.